Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Patronkast Plays, the third and final episode of Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe. I'm
It's
Razor.
been a long journey.
Chad and Smokeman are here as well.
I am excited to view this content or work.
Yes, yes. We don't even have to play the game. I don't have to play the game anymore. Because I already did it 22 fucking times to unlock all the endings, and that's what we'll be looking at today.
Fucking sucker.
But first, the bios.
Can't imagine doing all that in a day. Oh, we're doing the bios too? You lied.
Yeah, well, the bios
I'm
might
honestly shocked.
The bios might have
bios.
the more interesting material.
By all means.
Because, well, we're gonna start out simple. Scorpion. We'll discuss the costumes too, because
It's too late. I'm already drinking. It's too late.
We have the model viewer here. This was the first game to include a model viewer.
That is a nice touch.
And we've already espoused our enjoyment of this Scorpion outfit. I do want to... Ah, damn it.
Jesus Christ.
I wanted to make the text disappear, not go all the way back to the menu. Ah!
Olympus!
Please stop looking
Guardians
at me like
jump
that.
scare. Fuck. So yeah. Overall, this Scorpion outfit is great. We did point out the mask is the one he's wearing in the old TV commercial for Mortal Kombat 2.
Best mask.
That's a touch I really enjoy. We've got the quilted pattern from MK1 and 2 here. If I was to make some nitpicks, I could do without this weird rubber spine material.
That's starting to go full Scorpion.
That's a bit much.
Just a little bit.
And there's this weird coil pattern on the insides of his forearms here. And you can't really tell it just by looking at them, but in concept artwork for this game and MK9, the artist put these here to suggest that his spear launched out of those mechanically. Which is not an idea that I'm fond of, and I'm glad they don't really work that way.
That's not necessary, even a little bit.
Yeah. I like how the two scorpions here form a circle for the skull.
The belt is quite nice.
It's very much like he's the world heavyweight champion of the Netherrealm, you know? I enjoy it.
I like the kunai on the hips. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the kunai are a nice touch. That's been sort of a thing since Deadly Alliance, that he actually would wear the kunai, and then it would disappear off the character model when he'd throw the spear. Another alteration I might suggest is that I wish the knee pads were gold, because if you're going for an MK2 vibe, then when you like zoom all the way back and like look at it from a distance,
it's just missing that little something.
Yeah, you know, like in MK2, he had yellow the entire shin and knee pads too. It would just be a little more authentic, I think. But these are nitpicks. I like this outfit.
On the whole, very
whole.
solid.
Yeah,
8 out of 10.
This is a good one.
Yeah, great.
Now, as for the text, Scorpion was once a member of the Shirai Ryu Ninja clan before he was slain by the elder Sub-Zero. That's true. Resurrected by the sorcerer Quan Chi, he entered the Mortal Kombat tournament and killed Sub-Zero to avenge the murders of his family and clan. Also true. But Sub-Zero's younger brother assumed his name and donned the familiar blue assassin's garb. Though he remains Quan Chi's enforcer, Scorpion will not rest until this Sub-Zero has been slain as well. Now, here's where we have a problem.
This is MK4 Scorpion, basically.
Yeah, this is MK4. He was neither Quan Chi's enforcer, nor aware that Kuai Liang was Sub-Zero in MK2. And once he found out Kuai Liang was Sub-Zero, he stopped trying to kill him, because he had no reason to. You will notice that this bio does not give Scorpion a reason to want to kill Kuai Liang. It just says he wants to kill him too.
He doesn't like the color blue.
I guess. It's fucking triggers it. Bad memories, man. PTSD.
Like MK4. Blah, you're running it. Blah,
yeah.
angry.
This is just we're just gonna grab MK4 Scorpion and drop him in here. And the reason I want to emphasize that is because this is exactly what Scorpion's deal is in MK9. So you know, getting a little glimpse of where they're starting to make these mistakes and then carry those mistakes forward. You know, these actions have consequences, unfortunately. So, just something to think about there.
Sub-Zero.
Alright. Ah, Jesus.
You.
Always for the loading.
Okay, so, as I mentioned before, we've got the Deadly Alliance scar and these old man wrinkles.
We loving the blue color of it, yeah?
Yeah, Deadly Alliance cryo mask. This outfit isn't exactly Deadly Alliance, but it heavily borrows from it. We've got the frozen arms with no gauntlets. Got
Love it. I love the arms.
General pattern of striping and dragons, kind of also very Deadly Alliance inspired. I like this. It's kind of like a snowflake pattern to me that they put down the V.
If you squint a little bit, yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's very geometric, but it like implies snowflakes. I feel like.
Oh yes, absolutely.
I like the scale mail.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? It really feels like it comes from a different world and a different clan than the MK2, than the Scorpion outfit that we just looked at.
Yeah.
I think that's like it differentiates them quite nicely.
That's something I've always liked, like starting with I would say from MK4 or the 3D Arrow, once they started delineating the ninjas and not making them palette swaps, we tended to see Scorpion wearing things that felt more like traditional, more like the uniform of his ancestors, like this is what the ancient Japanese ninjas wore, and it's what I wear too. But also, I'm from Hell now, so I'm going to cover it in skulls and heavy metal belt buckles and things like that. Whereas with Sub-Zero, there's always sort of a sense of more modern, tailored stuff, like somebody with a sewing machine made the stripes on the pants, and this rubbery scale pattern as opposed to like a heavy metal armor.
A more modern clan of not quite ninjas.
You look at Mythology Sub-Zero, and like the mask is plastic and custom made, the gauntlets and shin guards are plastic. There's a sense of modernity to it, which tells the difference between the two clans, and that's the kind of like what I look for in costuming, is a sense of storytelling, and that's why when I look at the outfits in something like MK12, it doesn't just say, I think they just put this through Mid-Journey or something. Like, this clearly looks like AI art. It's all generic, and it doesn't look like a human mind came up with it. And one of the telltale signs of that is that the newer outfits tend to, like, lack logos and graphic design work. And the other thing is that they all kind of look the same as each other. Everybody's kind of a generic mix of twisty filigreed metal on everything and just kind of ancient China Japan. There's no sense of like, well, this guy would wear modern stuff, and this guy would wear ancient stuff, and this guy would wear branded stuff, you know? So if you're an artist, keep that in mind when you're, doing character design. The clothes tell a story, you know? Part of who the character is should be identifiable in what they wear. It's not just about, vague shapes and colors. Like, I made a blue ninja, that's what Sub-Zero is, right? No, there's a little more to it than that. Anyway.
Very true.
Sub-Zero. An assassin of the Lin Kuei clan, Sub-Zero is skilled in the art of combat and commands the power of ice and cold. He assumed the mantle of Sub-Zero when his brother was killed by the ninja specter Scorpion in the same Mortal Kombat tournament that Liu Kang won. That's true. Though his brother succumbed to corruption, Behad was a bad guy. That's true. Sub-Zero struggles with his conscience and questions the methods of his clan. He will one day have to make a choice between loyalty to the Lin Kuei and the safety of Earthrealm. So, Deadly Alliance costume, MK2 bio.
We begin to establish a pattern. It's kind of just a giant greatest hits.
Well,
taken from here and there. And
it kind of is, but as we go on, you will notice, like, Scorpion's the only guy who's not MK2 or 3 bio-wise. Like... And again, his bio is 4 to us who are on the inside and know all the things, but to a layman, his bio looks very similar to MK2. Let's, so we've got Lieutenant Manjaw here. With her nipples. You can see the nipples.
Her turkeys are done.
She's got, she's got tan lines where the thong used to be. Enjoy that.
Subtle.
Yeah. We've got the dog tags are hanging sexily off her belt. Can't wear those around the neck.
Can you zoom in on the belt buckle? Is that a Kraken? What's going on over there?
I believe that's a Special Forces logo. It's like
hard to make out.
It's got like a star with a wreath around it and a bomb with some lightning bolts in the middle, and then more like wreathing along the bottom.
Can you zoom in further?
This is as far as it goes. This is as far as it goes. Because if we could zoom in farther, I'd be reading these dog tags, because if you can get, like, a closer look at the models, you know, like, download them off the internet and really zoom in on them, then you can, in fact, read these. And, I believe they have her, proper date of birth, which is 1966, to make her 26 years old in MK1, which came out in 92.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's a nice touch that they actually put like an accurate birth date on there. Also, the dog tags say Outer World Investigation Agency on the second tag, which is accurate for this game. But they reuse the dog tags in MK9, where the OIA hasn't been invented yet.
Asset reuse? You don't say.
Well, obviously, the layman is never gonna notice.
Exactly.
So we've got like a
little compass.
Yeah, a fancy compass watch there on her wrist. I mean, that's pretty much it. This is,
Yeah, yep.
The pants are very subtly green, olive-ish,
yeah.
which is nice. It was a little bit difficult to make that out, actually.
This, I don't know if she needs this thong-shaped padding in the crotch of the pants? Couldn't just put a zipper there, like a normal...
What is
with this fucking leather belt going from the...
Go around back. What's it attached to?
Just nothing.
Part of the belt. Okay.
It just stops at the...
She forgot her holster. Alright.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a belt attached to a belt. There's nothing on there.
Looking forward to people scrolling across the YouTube video for this and just seeing us zoomed in on her groin and ass for 5 minutes.
Well...
Can we see the logo on her beret?
It's... That badge is her item from Armageddon Conquest.
Okay.
So it just says Special on the top and Forces on the bottom. I'm pretty sure. But this is as close as I can get.
I don't know about the little choker. Seems kind of pointless.
She had the choker in Deadly Alliance. I appreciate the
I've
almost
never known
continuity.
I guess if you're looking for something to bridge two places, sure.
Yeah, because honestly, this is, for Sonya, like, just a very generic and boring outfit. Like, usually her tops have, like, stripes and colors.
Mm-hmm.
To just do a white tank top is meh. I guess they thought people would be too distracted by the nipples to care.
And they were right.
I'm sure most people, yes. The impulsive special
forces agent Sonya Blade knew. Yes, I do. You're doing all the talking. Gotta do something. The impulsive special forces agent Sonya Blade knew nothing of other realms until she stumbled upon the Mortal Kombat tournament while pursuing the Black Dragon clan member Kano, accurate to MK1. Mm-hmm. After meeting Liu Kang and Raiden on Shang Tsung's island, her purpose in life was forever changed. She convinced her partner, Jax, to help spearhead a division of the Special Forces dedicated to protecting Earthrealm from outside forces. Though she has defended against exotic threats from other worlds, nothing could have prepared her for the invasion to come.
So this is post MK3, which is accurate to the story mode, I guess?
It could be talking about Shinnok's invasion, maybe?
Well, no, it's definitely talking about Shao Kahn's, because the story mode starts, Shao Kahn has just been defeated in some nebulous way, and then, you know, Raiden blasts him into a portal that turns him into Dark Khan.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's largely, Sonya has founded the OIA at this point.
Shang Tsung.
Excellent.
So, here's Shang. They put an awful lot of gray in his hair. We're going for, like, a middle point between...
Yeah, this is really interesting. Like, it doesn't directly correspond to either. It leans more towards young Shang, but, like, the gray can't be ignored. And the hair is so long.
Yeah, it's definitely, like, half MK3, half old man.
An interesting experiment.
But yeah,
I'm kind of fond of it.
This vest is definitely, like, trying to, call back to MK3, but it's less naked. He's got this, well, yeah, it's both, because it's got, like, black with yellow trim, like MK2, but it's also that weird V shape with buckles across his abs, like MK3.
It is a combination, yes.
Yeah, but they made it look less weird and naked, because they put, an actual material in his armpits here, this shiny red stuff.
Which is, again, not very noticeable during, just cutscenes and stuff. Like, I don't think I remember even noticing the red during our playthrough of the story
Well,
mode.
it's like a very dull maroon that shines red. And there's a lot in this game of them playing with this metallic coloring, where things will catch the light and there'll be a little color in the shine. And I think that was some new tech for them to play with when they switched to the Unreal Engine that kind of makes some of these outfits pop in interesting ways. Like, there was a little bit on Sub-Zero's scale mail was black, but the way the light would catch it had a little bit of, like, a bluish-green oil spill rainbow effect. So I think that's cool. He's got, like, 3 skulls on his belt buckle here.
Ah, a reference to one of his most famous moves, no doubt.
Yeah, he's got some generic pointy swirly design on his shoulders. And then
go back up. They feel like vaguely stylized dragons.
Yeah, it's a little dragon or snake-like, which goes with the ones on his legs that are definitely like a serpentine dragon. Which is very similar to how Deadly Alliance interpreted his original MK1 and 2, the red comic book outfit. Added dragon designs the legs. So yeah, we've got black pants instead of neon yellow ones, so that's more MK2 than MK3. And we've got a loincloth flap instead of a Speedo, so that's an improvement over MK3. And then, the one thing, like, I already said it when we were playing story mode, but I think they actually went overboard a bit on every surface having this snakeskin texture. I think they could have dialed it back in a couple of places.
It would make a better contrast if the legs themselves didn't have it and the cloth did.
Yeah, like if it was just on the boots and like the vest and loincloth and the pants were cloth pants, I could see that working better. But it's also interesting, he's got like yellowish brown eyes. I think I would have preferred the white eyes from MK2 and 3, you know what I mean?
Always the right choice.
Yeah.
It's an interesting choice, though, also, to give him both a front and back loincloth of equal length. You don't actually see that very often at all, I don't think.
Yeah, not
It's usually just up front.
It does work, though.
Yeah, it does. I like it.
Yeah. So.
A sorcerer who consumes the souls of his victims. Shang Tsung played host to the Mortal Kombat tournament in Earthrealm. stacking the odds in favor of the Emperor of Outworld Shao Kahn. He was finally defeated by the Shaolin monk Liu Kang and has sought to regain the favor of his master Shao Kahn ever since. His hatred of Liu Kang runs deep, and he would desire nothing more than to consume the soul of the one warrior who denied him victory.
So this bio works for pretty much any time post MK1.
Yeah, pretty well. Direct callback in tone to Deadly Alliance. The time he actually did the thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I call this non-specific.
It's basic enough to work for a game like this. There's nothing to complain about here.
Yeah, you can't say that they wholesale lifted this the way that they did for Scorpion. It works.
Yeah, yeah.
Kitana.
Ah, the outfit I know you love.
Oh yeah, this is my fucking favorite. So, first I want to point out the lovely modeling of the ribbon on her hair here, which apparently has some wire in it.
Are we sure it's a ribbon and it's not like bent steel?
Definitely obeying the laws of gravity and physics.
It was early days, comparatively. Although, I think we got more convincing hanging stuff in, like, Armageddon's character select screen.
Oh, yeah, they did. This is just, it ran out of time, I suppose.
As is often the case.
Okay, so let's look at what's going on here. We've got these,
I don't know what's going on here.
Non-Euclidean geometry.
These, like,
that's what's going on.
Claw-shaped blue parts that come down to her tits and then stop. They don't connect to the blue on her abs. They just stop. Why do they just stop?
They do look like some kind of like alien hands or something.
Why do they have these round cutouts in the center? Why couldn't it just be solid blue and connect to the rest of the suspendery shape that's going down her abs?
Because that's stupid.
You know what, though?
It looks like it was cut out just so that if there weren't the black underneath, this is where her nipples would be.
I'm gonna say the kind thing about it, and I stress the kind thing. I used to be pretty partial to this outfit, but over time I've come to realize, like, I would like it for Chameleon, because the claws kind of give that kind of animal impression. I just don't think it works for Kitana.
I don't think it works for anybody. It just doesn't make sense.
I don't know, the layered impressions of, I don't know, scales going down the midriff.
Well,
I could maybe see it for Chameleon.
So here's the thing.
The problem is that the fucking, like, blue that comes up the torso doesn't connect to anything. They just stick up.
Yeah, I have no problem with the zigzagging panel lines on the black. That's fine. That looks like the natural shape that some kind of leather armor would go in if you were, like, covering your abs with, like, layers. That makes sense. It's the blue is all wrong. Like, what? Why? Look. So she's got, like... Okay, so it comes down her back, and then around her ass, and then it stops here and makes another of these, like, weird claw shapes. And then there's a panel line when it gets to this V shape over her crotch. What is going on? Why is it... It doesn't look like anything. It doesn't make sense.
I feel like it's the MK ladies equivalent of the MK3 outfits that so many people out there don't like.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
they feel incongruous.
Like, some of the on the back and along the hips, that line follows the UMK3 shape. And then there's, like, a little bit here under the knee that's vaguely like the UMK3 shapes. But then they just fuck it up! None of this makes sense.
There's like a very subtle, like, flower patterning.
Yeah, if you zoom in, like, real close,
inside.
You can see that there's a texture of flowers over all of the blue. I don't really have a problem with that.
I can barely see it.
Yeah.
Go back to her ass and zoom in. No.
This is the closest it's gonna get.
I know.
Also,
they shouldn't look so much like knee pads is the thing. Big, bulky knee pads. That's the problem I think I have with the whole... Ugh.
It's
the more I look at it, the more it bugs me from like the thighs down.
It's such a bizarre shape, you know. It just doesn't look like anything. Like there's no sense of style to it, or like theme, or what. Like I can't tell what they were going for. It just feels like somebody scribbled some lines and gave up.
The Jackson Pollock of MK outfits.
Also, like these things on her wrists with the diamonds in the middle. I can't tell what that's supposed to be either. Like, if it was...
I feel like it's supposed to fire a quartz laser beam or some shit.
If it was, like, two black wraps with a diamond in the middle, and it was in, like, an X pattern, that would look normal. But whatever this is clearly all one piece, and it's got this weird... sideways K shape? I don't understand.
It's like a stone more than anything, really.
I don't get the shape of it. The black part. It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
How do you like that mask?
Those two little pointy bits on her cheeks don't need to be there, but otherwise the mask is... I fucking wish it had a drawstring.
Oh my god, that looks
just,
terrible.
Yep, it's just fucking glued to her face. That's a fucking problem. But yeah, otherwise I guess it's fine. It's basically Jade's mask in MK9.
Those points are...
like the black
there's this... There really is this suggestion of something inhuman about the whole thing that just doesn't conform to normal... human, or I guess Edenian or Outworld precepts of design. It feels very alien exotic, I suppose is the word for it.
Okay, here's something. So we've got these K-shaped things on the wrist, right? With the diamond in the middle. And clearly she's got, on her neckline, she's got an X with a diamond. Why is that an X? But these are Ks.
Hey, for Chameleon.
This is not an X.
Oh, who knows?
Okay, let's read the fucking bio.
It really wouldn't be surprised if it was like a leftover chameleon from like Armageddon or something. But anyway.
It's not. I don't think it's...
Princess of Edenia. Kitana fights to free her realm from the oppression of Shao Kahn. Long ago, her realm was merged with Outworld when the Emperor successfully invaded. When Earthrealm came under threat, she fought beside her new allies Liu Kang, Raiden, and the Forces of Light, capitalized, to deny the Emperor another conquest. Having returned to Outworld, she has discovered a new threat and must uncover the truth behind the devastation.
So it's basic, generic, post-MK2 and 3 Kitana, but I will point out, nowhere in this bio does it mention that Shao Kahn raised her as a daughter, or any part of that dynamic.
True.
I just want you to sort of keep that in your thoughts as we look at some of the future bios, because as I pointed out when we first started this LP, they're going to start making it clear that the reason most of these bios omit things from, like, the middle of MK1 through 3 is that they're really not taking the lore from MK1 through 3. They're taking it from the two movies. So...
It bothers me that Forces of Light is capitalized and Emperor is not. That is all I have to contribute.
Well, they started calling them officially the Forces of Light somewhere around, like, MK4 or something. They've done it in previous games.
I mean, you can hear the pronunciation sometimes when Raiden says the Forces of Light.
Yeah. Apparently that's the official team name for anybody who hangs out with Raiden and Liu Kang.
That's what Nightwolf logs onto. The Forces of Light Windows 95 desktop.
Jax.
Alright.
Oh god!
So, yeah, we've got some dog tags here. I actually would like,
Why does he have Frieza's third form arms?
You can almost read the dog tags. J. Briggs... I think it says 030543? Might be a 53.
Could not tell you.
Earth Realm, and then a serial number. And then the second one says Outer World Investigation Agency and a serial. I wonder if somebody could get me, like somebody who can download a model and zoom in closer, could get me the exact date of birth, because then we'd know how old Jax is. But yeah.
I have browsed around, and there are plenty of MK9 models available to peruse, but MKDC models are in a very short supply. I'll see what I can do.
I'm sure his 9 model also has the dog tags.
At the very least, yes.
So they
Somewhere.
would, and again, asset reuse, they would be the same dog tags.
Wasn't
Anyway.
his age in the beginning of the Special Forces level that we played? The unfinished one?
May have been? I don't recall.
Sounds right.
I know his height and weight was.
Yeah, and there are heights and weights in Deadly Alliance. Although some of them, for returning MK1 characters, are not the same as they were in MK1.
I know Sonya's matched the one that was in MK1 and the unfinished Special Forces level, but I know it differed for Jax.
Let's talk about these arms. We've got a base underlayer that's basically the MK3 arms. And then we've got some shoulder pads and some plates on the bicep and tricep. And then we've got these ridiculous fucking forearms.
They
got like oven grates on them.
Yeah, it's...
Why are you giving his forearms biceps, man?
It's very strange.
It does not look... honestly, the whole thing would be improved tenfold if you would just take the forearm bits off. Let the shoulder pads do the work of, like, pronouncing the power in his arms. And also, you know, give him some fucking hair.
Also,
Razor.
Okay.
What do you think of the Bryan Singer piping on
I
Jax here?
was just about to say, so an interesting choice, the lights on the arms and the piping on this bulletproof question mark vest. Yellow. Not Jax's usual color. Jax's usual color is purple.
Maybe it's a very clever nod to the original and greatest Jax outfit ever.
The
you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
The puffy vest and Flava Flav medallion one from Deadly Alliance. Yeah.
No. Original MK2 Jax, the one where he split his
Jim
pants.
Kelly one.
Oh, okay. See, but that one's
you're not an OG.
That one's not canon. Flava Flav Jax is canon.
It's canon in my heart. It's canon in my heart.
I'll also point out that Jax had a shaved head in the 3D era, so there's another.
He does look a little bit more, zooming on the model, like there's the hint of a hairline going on here, just a little bit.
Yeah, you can tell that he shaves his head because he was going bald.
It looks better
it's
here than in
the
the
back
game.
than on the top. He's got This face definitely feels like they face modeled a real person, like they got some actor to lend their likeness. You know, somebody off the street, maybe the same guy who did his voice, or one of the motion capture guys, or some rando at Midway. But it's more puffy in the cheeks, a little more Terry Crews, I would say, than most Jax faces. Like, it doesn't really match John Parrish.
The overall babyface effect is somehow lessened here, though, looking at it now, compared to in cutscenes and
It's
stuff.
definitely more pronounced in motion, yeah.
I would like to stop looking at this costume.
And then,
But how will you know where his abs are unless they're clearly outlined for you?
He's wearing the same exact pants as Sonya, which I guess, you know, military uniform, but a little boring.
Requisite knee pads. I can understand the knee pads here a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, I think we're done here.
I just, you know, the whole thing in bits and pieces just doesn't feel like it works together. It just feels like it's someone else's torso, someone else's arms. It doesn't gel, it doesn't mesh.
The proportions are strange and off in places, it's true. Like, his head doesn't go with the torso, and the arms seem a little too close together. The shoulders aren't broad enough, I feel like. There's some problems. The thing that bothers me the most, and this also goes for his MK9 alternate, Jax does not look right in a fully covered chest, like a shirt on. Like...
Yeah.
If he had, like a vest, but the vest was open and you can see his, like, pecs, which he does in, like, X and 11, I'm fine with that.
Like Lynn Red Williams, the greatest Jax.
Yes.
The greatest of all Jaxes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Now what? Where do you go from here? Alright. A decorated soldier and formidable warrior, Jax found that he could enhance his strength and fighting ability through technology. Replacing his arms with cybernetics, he has become a juggernaut in the fight to protect Earthrealm. After Emperor Shao Kahn's invasion, Jax realized that the military was unprepared for threats from other realms. He and his partner, Sonya Blade, formed a division of the Special Forces tasked with monitoring threats not from this world. The Outer World Investigation Agency will soon face its first crisis.
So again, basic post-MK3 bio, but I will point out the choice of wording, he replaced his arms with cybernetics.
Indeed.
Which is not how it worked before. For those...
That's something to note, really. We have a long history of looking at MK9 as the game that made that change, but this is where it first happened.
Yeah, so... traditionally, in the old timeline, Jax, his metal arms are basically sleeves. They can be taken off, and his real arms remain underneath. This can be seen in the Flava Flav Deadly Alliance alternate costume.
Which we have to keep bringing up.
It's also, they make a point of it in Defenders of the Realm and in Annihilation. These things can come on and off. They are an augmentation over top of his real arms. Now, the interesting thing is, often fans did not see it that way or believe, like, you tend to look at adaptations and figure, oh, this is something they got wrong. In the games, he lost his arms and got these metal ones, but that wasn't true until 9. Now, in 9, and in things made since 9, he always is grievously injured. His arms are taken from him, and he needs bionic prosthetics.
However, I'm gonna interject and just say that it is true that going from this point forward, yes, we popularized that, but in a series such as Mortal Kombat, with the reputation that it has, even Malibu in 1995 looked at Jackson MK3, didn't have the complete story, and went, well, I guess Baraka just sliced his arms really bad.
Well,
so
that's a weird middle ground where, like...
It is. He didn't
cut his arms off, he just injured them.
No. But it's not an unreasonable way to go about it. Obviously, you know, I'm a purist, I prefer everything the way it was during the Midway era, but there's a history, is all I'm saying.
I understand fans, and this is going back to the 90s, I was one of these fans when I was a kid. This is a very gory series. Violence and maiming people and seeing a lot of blood and things get chopped off is inherently a part of the franchise. And so you look at Jax getting bionic arms, and you say that's an opportunity if they ever want to, like, show us something in animation or live action where he could actually lose his arms on screen. Didn't have to be that way. The reason Tobias gave him metal arms originally was partly just because they wanted him to have a clanging sound effect when he punched people. Like, originally he was going to just have metal gloves in MK2, and they didn't have the memory for it. So when they got the opportunity, they were like, finally, we can give him metal fists that go clang. But the story he wanted to tell was more like Jax got beaten up by somebody, and he got insecure about it, and he decided, I'm not as strong as these Outworld monsters, we're not ready to fight them as humans, we need more, we need technology, we need to upgrade ourselves.
And this is coming from the actual strongest man in the world, according to MK canon.
Yeah, yeah. And I just think it's weird that this particular bio doesn't say he got injured and needed new arms. It just makes it sound like he was totally happy to go to the lab and chop his perfectly fine arms off to put robot ones on. Like, why would you voluntarily have your arms removed?
That's what I'm talking about.
It feels unnecessary.
I would like to stop looking at this costume.
All right. All right.
I'm with you, buddy.
Okay.
Oh my god. We're only
Yep.
just a little bit over a quarter of the way done.
The DC ones will go very fast.
Is this?
So... Okay, let's start simple. Let's start at the bottom. His pants...
I have a question. I have a question before we do anything.
Okay.
Go back up to his head.
Yeah.
Turn it around.
Yeah.
Am I the only one with an urge to run Hot Wheels cars off of that motherfucker?
It's definitely in defiance of gravity.
Greasy.
But I don't really have a problem with that.
It would be better if there was gravity like Kitana's ribbons.
Well,
yes.
I like Liu Kang's hair to floof outward like Robin's shoes did. That's the difference, because there are so many games where Liu Kang's hair is trying to look like this, but it's flat. And it doesn't have the same feel. This is like one of the few times where he actually has like some Robin shoe volume in his hair. And it, you know, it looks awkward from the back. Sure, they could have put one last layer that hangs straight down underneath the bottom. But the curling outward in general is in his favor, I would say.
Fair enough.
Anyway,
It looks like he needs to wash his hair, man.
that's a color thing, all right? They chose a weird shade of gray, and then they made it too shiny. Anyway,
Ew.
so the pants, pretty classic. You know, red stripes down them, dragging on the stripes. They started doing that in Shaolin Monks. I like it. I like it.
Mhm.
Got some rope tied around the ankles. That's very Shaolin Monkish. And then we've got this belt. So, when the game came out, I remember a lot of fans sort of complaining about the belt. They didn't like that it made him look like a pro wrestler. I love this fucking belt.
I don't care for the belt.
I
All the way
think
around. Is there a clasp on the side?
There is not. It appears to buckle
How
on
does
the-
he
on
get
the-
this on?
Maybe it stretches. There should have been a clasp on the back. There should be some kind of buckle, yes. But so if you look at Tobias's sketches, his like concept art for the original MK2, Liu Kang's original design looks pretty much exactly like what we got in the game, with one small difference. He was gonna have a dragon logo in the middle of his belt.
Okay.
That's true.
Yeah. I guess they got rid of it just because it wouldn't show up in the blue screen, like it'd be way too small.
It would probably come across as a little blurb of nothingness.
Yeah, just a couple of weird black pixels in the middle of his belt. Nobody would have been able to tell what was going on. So I understand why he got rid of it, but
I don't think I've seen that little bit of concept art before.
it's in the same collection of art as the hook swords guy that became Baraka, and the kickboxer girl, and Tony the Tiger Kintaro. Yeah.
I have all of those you mentioned, but no Liu Kang on my computer.
I'll see if I can find you that. But yeah, so this is an interesting way to sort of bring that back, and also, I guess traditionally you would say, like in the graphics of the old games and in some of the cutscenes like Shaolin Monks and MK9, traditionally when you win the tournament, the Shaolin give Liu Kang a ribbon to wear around his neck. But you can't wear a ribbon in a battle, it'll fly around everywhere, and I'm sure he takes it off and leaves it at home. if the champion wore a belt, then you could wear it into the game. And you could have it on when you're fighting in the championship round. I think that would be, you know, a little bit of visual storytelling. I would appreciate it. Also,
I suppose I wouldn't have as much of an issue with the belt if it didn't quite have those pro wrestler proportions. Maybe if it was more straight across, maybe have a logo a little bit smaller. It's not a bad idea.
I don't know, I think, because all sports belts look like wrestling. Like, boxing has belts, and they look basically the same as a wrestling championship. I think if you're going to have a championship belt, this is the shape of a championship belt.
He is the champion.
No one cares about boxing belts, they care about fight money. Precious fight money.
Anyway, I also like that they have the belt match the gauntlets. You know, it's got this bronzy green shine to it.
Yeah, that looks nice.
There's a nice, like, actually zoom all the way back out. Do that. Zoom all the way back out. Like, there's this really... Actually, this is honestly great. Like, your eyes are drawn to this shine around his midsection that extends across. It's good.
Yeah, because the gauntlets and the belt line up with each other when he's standing straight like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like the belt and how it matches the gauntlets. I think all that is good. I would like to see that in other games. If you've seen my own artwork, I drew Liu Kang wearing this belt. I drew a Goro where he's holding the belt in his hand for MK1.
Noob Saibot coming back behind him with a chair.
So let's nitpick a little. Obviously,
ah, God, Jerry, that Shao Kahn had 7 wives. Sorry.
So Lu's upper body here it's a bit big for a Liu Kang, I think. Because when I think Liu Kang, I think Bruce Lee, and I feel like Liu Kang. There are many games in the series where Liu Kang, like the pecs and the shoulders, are way too big and swollen and. He doesn't need to be this buff, you know?
I don't know, like, there's still the impression of an athletic build.
I think...
He's very well-toned, I don't know I'd say he's a step below buff, although those collarbones are really defined.
Yeah, there's...
It's the collarbones that do it.
He's looking a little bit like younger Toguro from Yu Yu Hakusho with these fucking shoulder blades.
Oh, God.
Collarbones. I think, like, the shoulders aren't quite as big as an MK9, but we're getting there. That's the problem.
We've not yet reached peak Unga.
I will say, at this point, his physique is in the ballpark of it feels like they were going for Robin Shu, which is fine. I get why you'd go there. I just would prefer if he was a little more lean, like Bruce Lee, because that was his original inspiration. Ho Sung Pak was not a big guy. I mean, Eddie Wong was... Ever since him and Robin Shu had much bigger torsos. And I don't know, it's kind of thrown off the whole Liu Kang aesthetic for me.
What about the upper limit of buff I would take? But anyhow... A Shaolin monk, Liu Kang saved Earthrealm from the forces of Outworld by defeating Shang Tsung in the Mortal Kombat tournament. That peace was short-lived. Shao Kahn, angered by his defeat, bypassed the rules and invaded Earthrealm. Liu Kang was called back to action by Raiden, God of Thunder. With the forces of light at his side, he again pushed back the invasion and defeated Shao Kahn's minions. Liu Kang has returned to the Wuxi Academy to continue his martial arts training. But his time
there will be brief.
Oh, Jesus. His time there will be brief, as a new threat beckons him to action. Good on you.
Yeah, so...
Seeing typos where there are none.
So, basically, standard Liu Kang bio, post-MK3. The one thing I will point out, you will notice that this text goes straight from he won a tournament to Shao Kahn invaded. There is no MK2 in whatever continuity this game takes place in.
Well, it's a Robin Shu bio.
Yeah, just like there's no MK2 in the movies. Now this one's gonna be fun.
Oh.
Where are your fucking sleeves, you fucking sleeveless wonder? Alright, we've covered the sleeves. Let's not waste any more time on it.
Yeah, we don't...
We've bitched about it incessantly.
Otherwise, I guess it's fine. I really
feel like the base white material is like almost the same as what's going. I feel like he's wearing the exact same pants and maybe almost the same shin guards in MK9. Refresh me.
The shin guards are definitely the same in MK9. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. These knee pads that are like 3 shapes pointing outward. That's definitely an MK9.
Thank you. I'm not crazy.
Yeah. So he's got like this weird Chinese bell thing that the rope is tied between. He's wearing some chainmail under there.
Indeed.
I feel like, other than the bizarre omission of sleeves, this design kind of borrows from Deadly Alliance. In the sense of, like, it's more fancy and more armored and has more, like, rope and stuff and the cape compared to, like, his relatively simple outfit in MK2.
I get, like, a weird Greek Zeus vibe from it all.
Maybe.
It's the bagginess of, like, the side of, like, the white shirt there.
I can kind of see, like, there's
the cape with the gold trim and the fucking little
it's like
Doctor Doom discs on his fucking chest.
There's one layer of stuff too many, I think, is what's happening.
Yeah, I don't think he needs the chainmail.
That's it.
Otherwise,
ditch the chainmail, give him some sleeves, remove those weird bicep pads beneath the shoulder blades, and I think you're in business.
I can see why you're getting like a toga vibe from the sleeveless white tunic. But I don't know. Otherwise, like the armor doesn't feel particularly any one culture over another to me. Like it's very generic.
Yeah.
Kind of blandly like medieval knight-ish maybe. The popped collar is an interesting choice. I think he might have had that in Deadly Alliance, but I can't remember.
I think it is that feels like the exact same face model he has in 9.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure they reused this face in 9, yeah.
They reuse most of the faces in this game.
Yeah.
For 9.
But yeah, not much else to say about it. It's Raiden. Just wish he was wearing sleeves.
It's a 5 out of 10. Nice hat.
Yeah. I do appreciate that they didn't overcomplicate the hat, because so many times now he's got, like, a crest on it and some kind of, like, design, some kind of, like, metal
crest and, like,
it's always
studs. And,
Frankenstein's
like metal
antennas and Tron lines and nonsense.
Yeah.
It's all some bullshit now.
Nice, standard straw hat. Raiden, God of Thunder. Protector of Earthrealm. Ageless and wise beyond measure.
Sure he is.
He is the defender who rallies Earthrealm's mortals to fight against the forces of evil. When his brother, Shao Kahn, Emperor of Outworld, finally invaded Earthrealm, only Raiden and his forces of light stood between slavery and freedom. As Earthrealm merged with Outworld, Raiden held the line and fought back against the Emperor, defeating him and freeing Earthrealm. It seemed that peace was finally achieved, but the battle for Earthrealm had only just begun.
Thank God, Annihilation is finally getting its due.
Yeah,
What a
just,
choice.
Just to reiterate, Raiden and Shao Kahn are not brothers in any MK game other than this one. This is the only one. And they got it from the movie MK Annihilation.
This feels literally like, you think John Tobias told them to do that? Yeah, probably. Sure, let's put it in the game.
I'm just saying, like, this bio was probably written by Vogel or Barentine or Greenberg. Somebody on the Midway team who's been working on these games since the 90s, and who knows that they're not fucking brothers. They made the deliberate choice to go, well, there's going to be a lot of people who aren't familiar with MK playing our crossover game. You know, a lot of DC fans who don't know these characters. So when we introduce the characters to them, which versions will they be most familiar with? I guess the movies, right? So let's give them the movie bios.
Maybe. It might be a movie thing. It might be John was more heavily involved with Annihilation in the first movie, so let's take his word on that and throw it in.
Oh, it's
could be a few factors.
I assure you. So John Tobias hates that they're called brothers in Annihilation.
Maybe he wasn't as heavily involved as I imagined.
Like,
then.
actively and vehemently spoken up against that choice on Twitter. He did not enjoy that shit. It is not canon to him. All right.
Good to know.
And if the people who work at Midway after he left were into it, surely they would have put it into Deadly Alliance, Deception, or Armageddon, but they didn't. They also did not put it into 9. They did not put it into X. They did not put it into 11, and they did not put it into the new timeline they just created, where they could do anything they want.
I mean, the backlash against it was pretty something to behold, as I recall. No one was having it.
It was dumb. It's just fucking weird. The bios in this
game
are from the movies.
It comes from an era where, like, Annihilation was not quite yet up to that point where people could really enjoy it for its cheesy badness. It was still just a really bad fucking movie when this game came out, and people were like, hey.
I don't know why in this game. Why are the bios movie bios?
Kano.
And then there's this fucking guy.
Do you like Special Forces? I like Special Forces.
Yeah, this is his Special Forces outfit.
Am I shitposting? Don't know.
So one thing, he's got like a weird thing on his back here. In the concept art, he was going to have a wire that leads from the back thing around his ear into the cybernetic eye plate.
Unnecessary, but okay.
Yeah, like this is like the one on his back is the power source for the eye beams.
It kind of looks like a trilobite.
Which raises the question, what does the one on the front do? Look, there's wires to the one on the front, and they lead into the one on the back, but neither of them goes to anything else. Like,
I mean, what's the thing on the fucking tip?
Oh yeah. There's a ribbon cable coming down here, and what looks like an EKG meter. So as far as I can tell, his heart buckle arc reactor thing is actually a heart monitor that keeps track of his fucking health. Like he's got a heart problem, like it's a pacemaker.
You can see his HP.
So that's interesting. They got some bullets here. Fucking utility pouches.
Utility pouches.
These are where he keeps his bubble gum for his friendship.
Shut the fuck up.
They are. And then, so
Prove him wrong. You can't.
I believe this was the first game where they started giving him arm tattoos.
An inspired choice, I think.
I like the idea of him having, like, a Black Dragon gang tattoo. What I don't like is that it's different every single game. There's never any consistency or continuity between his tattoos in any game to the next.
I'm in favor of reclaiming the word continuity and spelling it with a K, specifically to illustrate the lack thereof.
What is consistent is this head will be used again in MK9. You know what I think is really neat, though? When he blinks, his cybernetic eye blinks like a camera shutter. That's cool.
Yep.
That is cool.
That's a good touch.
And that's what, like, it always bothered me in MKX when he gets the different eye that looks like a headlight on a car. And they say that it's an upgrade, but it's clearly less technologically advanced than this. It can't blink. This can blink. This is a way better eye.
Truth.
Also, the one in X is like, it doesn't line up with his other eye.
Yeah, no, it's not symmetrical with his other eye. It's too low on his face.
I have a question.
Always bothered me.
I have a question. What the fuck is that shit on his hip? On the other side.
On the other side, those are bullets. We looked at those.
Oh, those are bullets. I thought those were like fucking silver stakes
Those
to
are
hunt vampires.
Those
Yeah,
are
they're
not just ordinary bullets. Those are
Bullets are usually not pointy at the bottom, I will grant. These are something weird.
They look like they look like the ends of crayons or some
Yeah.
Are
shit.
you sure they're not facing upward?
I don't know why they need to have glowing red stripes.
Oh wait,
They look like they belong on Blade's fucking like bandolier or some shit.
These are in fact vampire stakes. These are special ammo for hunting monsters.
Exactly. They're fucking.
This belongs to like an anti-tank gun or some shit. I don't know what's going on.
It's an odd
He's
choice.
killing Natara with those.
It's an odd choice. The other thing that I'm not particularly a fan of is that his brown pants have Bryan Singer padding.
That sucks.
Like, if this was just a black stripe, I'd be totally fine with it, but why does it need to be rubbery and ribbed? That's...
Even then, like, I don't think that these brown, grayish pants don't need stripes.
Well,
It's ribbed for your pleasure.
I mean, Kano usually wears pants with a stripe on them. Like in Deadly Alliance, his MK1 outfit was reimagined as having a black stripe down the leg. His MK3 outfit is black with a red stripe down the leg. I'm used to him having a stripe down the leg. So brown with a black stripe would have been fine. It bothers me that it's this rubber material. I don't like that this rubber texture. It's throwing off the aesthetic. It doesn't match the rest of the pants.
You know what I like? The simplicity of the wraps on his punching fists.
Oh yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's nice.
They look a little bit bloodstained.
Yeah, I was about to mention that.
There's a little pink
very
and a little
subtly.
brown. I also appreciate that they remembered that he has a lot of body hair.
Who could forget?
You see his chest and his arms.
Go to his shin pads. From the front.
Yeah, I
The
think...
hint and the
I don't know.
suggestion of a... There's the hint and the suggestion of an almost Black Dragon logo going on there.
It feels like it might be like the clawed foot of a dragon or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It Excuse me.
I don't know. I don't see it.
There's something happening there. It looks... It's more evident, I think, that like when it's in shadow a little bit. It feels like there was some attempt to create a stylized pattern, but it's not really quite coming through.
It feels both over-designed and under-designed at the same time.
Spectacular accomplishment.
Yeah. We don't need those. And then he's got his knives. These are the movie knives.
Yep.
The Kira knives. The dragon tooth daggers.
Same as it always was.
Yeah, I
Hey, look.
guess.
Appreciate the continuity, okay?
Well, continuity for Kira or the movie, sure. I prefer Kano to use the butterfly swords, and I would like them to be lightsabers. Like they were in MK1 and 3.
I've always been of two minds about that.
Also, why is this a hexagon now instead of a square? That'll carry forward into MK9. We don't need that.
More polygons. It's
Not
the
a
new,
fan
it's the
of
new
that.
console generation, Razor.
Well,
More battery for his heart.
I don't
What
think
size?
it was. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think we need that. Square would be fine, especially because.
You're
And
a
I will,
square.
I will point this out again.
Damn, that one worked.
Yeah, it really got me there. If you go back and look at the Tobias comics, Kano is not the only one who's wearing a bandolier with a big red box in the center. All of the members of the Special Forces are wearing them, because it's not an arc reactor, it's a seatbelt buckle!
Oh.
Anyway.
Hip to be a square. Yes!
Oh, finally I can be nice again.
I will point out that
It's been more hits than misses, I think, generally.
we are at the 1 hour mark, so we've been taking our time with this shit.
So, endings next time, we're gonna stretch this shit out, I think.
You want to make it a 4-episoder? Tie with mythologies for shortest LP?
I guess, if we have to.
I mean, we don't have to.
I can only take so many hours of this consecutively.
I mean, we're gonna blaze through the DC characters. There's very little to say.
Let's see what we come up with.
All right, so we've got Baraka in armor here.
I love this outfit. Have I said that? Yes,
Yeah,
I have many
good.
times.
It's
I absolutely love this.
It's similar to Deception in concept, but aesthetically, I would say it's completely original. Like, it's not really... Other than, like, the idea of Baraka in armor, it doesn't really have much in common with Deception. I do think, like, from
There's something...
From the waist down, it's actually pretty MK2-ish, because he's got, you know, like, the armored, loincloth flap.
There's more of a suggestion of a samurai aesthetic going on a little bit somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
I like how it looks.
Definitely like lends to the, you know, the feudal Japanese fantasy of Outworld. The people who work for Shao Kahn, that's the environment that they come from.
I love the little dangly bits on the loincloth flap thing there.
Yeah, he's got like a
bits.
kunai tied to it on each side.
Front and back.
It's nice looking.
Mm-hmm. He's got a little bit of armor hanging over his shins.
Love those shoulder pads. Not particularly overdone, just sitting there doing their job.
The shoulder pads are interesting
the
because
shape,
like
the shape almost looks like some kind of like bone at a
Yeah,
first
yeah,
glance.
it's like
Absolutely. That's what I'm convinced that's what's going on.
Yeah, the design is definitely supposed to look like bone, which I think is interesting because, again, calling back to Deception, he had, like, his breastplate was held onto his shoulders with these straps that were made of spines. So instead of having the spines, they have these plates that have a bone design. I guess
everything feels very functional.
That I just really like a lot of the details on the breastplate too. Just kind of.
I think it's interesting. He's
the,
got
the
like
little like bumps and shit. He's got dents in it.
Yeah,
too.
he's got like a big dent in his pec right there.
That is cool.
Right where his heart would be too.
Yeah.
It's like, damn.
Armor did its job.
That shit worked.
Yeah. The slight hint of asymmetricality with this skull logo is interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is a great costume.
Yeah, I think this one really works. And it definitely like fits the Baraka aesthetic. The one thing I would say, I have heard the criticism at times that Baraka has looked too bulky in some games, that like if you go back to MK2, he was a very lean guy who was doing like drop kicks and sort of a little bit more acrobatic in his jumping attacks, and like these days he's thicker and more hunched over, and
there is this whole aesthetic behind it, which is very much informed by the Nosferatu mask that they had going on. The way he walked around, it was very like, well, Nosferatu vampire aesthetic influence. And it's understandable, but like this outfit wouldn't work particularly well with him being skinny in that kind of way. This actually makes an argument for him to have some good kind of muscle mass, you know?
Yeah, I think it's sort of necessary to have some bulk to pull off this chest plate, and especially these flared out rubbery paddings on his hips. Which I really like that again, talking about like these colored metallic shines that they were able to do in this game. Like, this is a gray material, but it picks up this bluish shine. I think that's an interesting look.
God damn, I love this outfit.
Yeah. And this face would be reused in 9. Same teeth,
Indeed.
same orange eyes. It's interesting though, you kind of like if you look at it from the side, you can tell that he's got like blacks in his eyes, and these are just very large irises.
True.
It's an interesting choice. And when
It's
it
a bit
picks
of
up the light
programming
here, it's like a
fuckery.
reddish black. So yeah, he's got kind of like a gambit effect, but you know, with the lizardy slits. That's kind of neat.
Yeah.
It's a good programming trick.
Yeah.
Tarkatans are vicious mutants from the wastes of Outworld, and Baraka is the most brutal among them. Serving in Shao Kahn's army, he gained the Emperor's favor and became one of his personal enforcers. Many of Shao Kahn's opponents have been slain by Baraka's retractable blades, including the Defenders of Earthrealm during the Emperor's invasion. But when Shao Kahn was defeated by the forces of light, Baraka vowed to avenge his master, and returned to Earthrealm to hunt them down.
It's not very nice.
So that's like, I don't know, it's kind of... It's post MK3, but this isn't what Baraka actually did post MK3. He started working for Quan Chi.
It's a hodgepodge of stuff. Yeah, it's
a very generic, what would Baraka have been doing after MK3 if we didn't have a different story lined up, you know?
WWBD.
Also, many of Shao Kahn's opponents have been slain by Baraka's retractable blades, including the Defenders of Earthrealm during the invasion. So he got some kills? That's new. I mean, they're just saying that to hype him up, but this Baraka is apparently more successful in battle than the one we're used to.
Just gonna give him credit for that cage death. Sure, why not?
Alright. So
maybe he ganked up Cabal a little bit before he got burned up.
Yeah. So we'll just blaze through these DC characters real quick.
Explain the Superman to me.
Yes.
What is this Nietzschean concept?
So this is a very classic Superman, which I'm happy to see. There's no unnecessary panel lines added. It's just straight out of the comics.
See, you know it's good because he's got the Superman logo on the cape.
Yeah, he's got the logo on his cape. That's my favorite part, because they so often forget that, and I really like the logo on the cape. You know, he's got the S-curl in his hair. This face was probably inspired by Alex Ross's paintings of Superman.
You mean the ones where he just made... The ones where he just used his own face?
Well, Alex does have... models that he hires. He doesn't always use himself. I think he actually has a guy that he gets for Superman, and it's not him.
I know.
I could paint my own face onto Superman's body, I'd do it.
I don't know. I feel like he also does it for Superman. I know he does it for Aquaman and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I know he uses his own face for Wonder Woman. That's why she always looks a little bit mannish in his art. But yeah, this is I would specifically say this S-Shield design is the Christopher Reeves one.
Yes, there's a very specific, old-timey feel about it. It's not as angular and well-defined as it would be in the 90s. Or
there's like sewing seams and like the right spots for it too.
Yeah, also like the color choices, this shade of blue. There's definitely a lot of Christopher Reeve in this one.
Mm-hmm. Mark Kent made this one.
Yeah, that's my preferred origin of the suit. I don't like when he gets it from like a Kryptonian ship or anything. Like, I like Ma Kent sewed the suit out of his blankets. There's more...
There's more heart to that.
Yeah, Superman is supposed to be like a very down-to-earth, heartwarming guy. He's not supposed to be too alien. He's not supposed to lean too much on his Kryptonian heritage. He's supposed to be a guy who represents being an American immigrant. And, like, this is his home now. Like, he's not... so attached to the world he came from in the past because he was a baby and he didn't really know that world. He was raised in Kansas by the Kents, so that's the culture he comes from. That's the way I prefer to look at the character, so I like it when the suit matches that.
What do you think of the shoulder lines?
I think those are fine. They're just, you know, some seams around.
I mean,
like, they make it look like real cloth.
It's sewing seams, like I mentioned.
Yeah, it's just...
Ma Kent sewed that up.
It just makes it look like real cloth. It's not like an unnecessary panel line or anything.
Do you want me to read this too?
You go ahead.
I don't... Okay. As the planet Krypton braced for destruction, the infant Kal-El was placed in a rocket ship by his parents and sent into space. Arriving on Earth as the last son of Krypton, he was found and raised by Jonathan and Martha Kent on their Kansas farm. Doing this in an MK-esque voice feels wrong. Clark Kent manifests the amazing powers of super strength, flight, and invulnerability under Earth's yellow sun. Instilled with the values of right and wrong, he has taken on the identity of Superman to defend his adopted planet. Damn, fucked it up.
Well,
He did.
so yeah, this is classic Superman stuff. There's nothing weird and out of left field there. We're
It's
good.
Superman.
We're good.
I have nothing more to say. The cape's the right size.
I just noticed something weird.
What's that?
You see the font where the buttons are?
Yeah?
The E in that font is a backwards 3.
I have noticed that too, that all throughout this game, like you see up here where it says more, they use this weird curly E. It's an odd font choice. I don't know about that.
The tiniest of memory-saving measures.
It's a 3. It's a fucking 3.
Okay, so here's Batman.
I don't like these fucking
And here are
abdomen
his
lines.
pouches.
Yeah, like
Dude,
these
these are some fucking new 52 ass lines. Like
These are
4
all
years
in-
before.
odd
I
places.
feel like those shoulders about to pop open to reveal some machine guns.
Yeah, why is it... like, the squares on the elbows and some of the... around, like, the ribs and abs I kinda get, but... what's going on with the shoulder and bicep does not make sense. And especially the crotch. Like, why is it...
Yeah, what the fuck?
because he's got, like, the underwear over top, so why does he need a pant... like, is it in 2 pieces? What's...
That's
is there armor over his bladder, but not over his junk?
that's where he keeps his anti-bat forces of light spray or whatever
Very-
shit.
It's very strange, these panel lines. There's a bunch of unnecessary ones
His
on his
boots are
boots, too.
dirty.
Like, how many pieces... do these boots come apart into, like, a bunch of compartments? What's...
The suggestion of technology where there is in fact none.
yeah.
Hey
it's
man, he's got to be prepared.
it's just awkward, because otherwise... perfectly normal gray and blue Batman.
Just take off
It's
those
just-
lines from business.
You took a picture of regular Batman, and then you drew some zigzags on it with a marker. Okay.
When his parents were gunned down in front of him, young Bruce Wayne resolved to rid Gotham City of the criminal element that took their lives. He trained extensively to achieve mental and physical perfection, in addition to mastering martial arts, detective techniques, and criminal psychology. Dressing as a bat to prey on criminals' fears and operating out of his secret Batcave below Wayne Manor, Batman fights crime with the aid of specialized gadgets and vehicles. Swear to me!
They didn't mention his mom's pearls.
They did not mention Martha's
They
pearls.
did
no.
not.
They also didn't mention his long and extensive list of sidekicks. He doesn't fight crime with their aid? Speaking of sidekicks, as I was playing through the arcade modes to unlock the endings, I noticed something we didn't spot while we were doing story mode.
That being?
On the second level of the Batcave, there is, in fact, a glass display case with a Robin suit in it.
Well, son of a bitch!
The problem is, it's Tim Drake's red and black suit.
Oops.
It's not Jason's colors.
Oopsies.
There's an infinite amount of universes out there, and an infinite amount of ways an infinite amount of Robins can die.
Fucking
I
lame.
don't care.
Lame.
I
Multiverse
don't
trash.
care.
Don't give it that.
You're looking at the source of it. That's what DC is. Next character.
All right.
Catwoman.
Okay, so this is basically her 2000s era suit with the goggles, but they chose to make it purple like her 90s outfit, which is
Indeed.
I guess a combination of elements that sort of calls back to her history. I can kind of respect that, although I do think
There's a little bit of
Yeah,
everything in
it's a
here.
little
There's,
weird.
there's some
fine.
Michelle Pfeiffer. There's some Julie Newmar.
Well, the Julie Newmar is mostly in her voice acting.
In the voice, yes.
I don't know that her boots need these weird knee flaps. That's just
Yeah.
some Bryan Singer ribbing for the sake of it, as far as I can tell. That's a little bit much. But yeah, otherwise, it's basically the Ed Brubaker era suit.
The zipping goes all the way up to the collar.
Sure does. She has chosen not to. This isn't the only game that makes that choice. I'm not gonna
It doesn't look like there's enough
I'm
fabric
not
for that.
saying that the choice is bad.
It
I'm
looks like
saying I'm wondering what it would look like if you zipped all the way up to the collar.
I feel like there's not enough fabric to be zipped up.
Well, I would suggest you look up some Ed Brubaker era Catwoman artwork, because she usually has the zipper all the way up.
Yeah, but like, isn't it like typically just like up to the neck? Like, it's not a big collar that flares out.
It's tight around the neck. It's just you're used to seeing cleavage because that's what this game and the Arkham games do.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Let's never forget.
It covers her neck in the comics, I assure you.
When Michelle Pfeiffer had to be sewn into a suit for our amusement. Tightness has a history.
Because like looking at it, like the collar goes pretty high up. I would assume that it would like cover her fucking mouth too.
It's just enough to overlap with the bottom of her cowl, I would say. Anyway, look how short this bio is.
Selena Kyle operates as a costumed cat burglar in Gotham City and has a love-hate relationship with Batman. She is able to commit nearly impossible crimes thanks to her athletic prowess, skills with a whip, and seductive wiles. We are done here.
Yep, that's the whole character. What a deep and interesting what lore, what hidden depths lie within Selena Kyle.
How's Holly? We don't know.
The length of this bio makes me wonder.
I'm the guy that's read more Catwoman? Of course I am.
I know who Holly is. That was
okay. Good.
I just want to point out, these bios have like arrows on the side of them. Is there any bios that actually like require you to use those?
I don't think so. I don't think any bio is long enough for an up and down. I think that was a just in case, but I'm not sure there's any bio that you can actually scroll up and down because it's too long for the screen. Anyway.
Most likely preventative measure, yes.
So remember when I said that he looks like Wall-E? Because he has green eyes?
Sure.
I saw... Before we read the bio, before we get there, I just want to point out that I saw an interview with voice actor Taliesin Jaffe, and he was talking about when he got this job and how excited he was to play the Flash because he's familiar with the comics. And he asked them, "Do you want me to do Barry? Do you want me to do Wall-E, cartoon Wall-E, or comic Wall-E?" You know, he has that kind of familiarity with the character.
That's cool.
They told him to play it like Wall-E. Let's keep that in mind going forward.
Am I about to read about a fucking...
The first word is Barry, isn't it?
Yeah, so, just again, green, clearly green eyes.
Nope.
I want to point out that this suit has this weird carpety texture that they got from the 90s Flash TV show.
What the hell?
It didn't look good in that show, and it does not look good here.
I shit on these details earlier. I hate the fucking bicep rings. I hate the fucking gloves.
Why? So why do these yellow, like, mustard-ass dishwashing gloves like stop halfway around his wrist and have straps in the gap? Like,
they're
why?
Fucking terrible.
These are the ugliest goddamn gloves I've ever seen.
That shit reminds me of this fucking toy I had as a kid when the Fantastic Four movie was out.
Have you ever seen a pair of gloves in real life that stop at the wrist and become gauntlets? Why is it like this?
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, at least the red texture does look smooth and pleasing to run your hands over. Not that bit.
And again, his arms do not look like this in the comics. What actually happens in the comics is that the red goes all the way down to his hands. And he has lightning bolt designs that match his belt around his forearms. So he's got, like, red gloves with yellow trim at the top. Not these yellow gauntlet gloves. I don't, like, I feel like if you were going to change a character's costume, the only reason you would do it is you're trying to go, well, let's make the DC characters look more like Mortal Kombat characters, and let's make the Mortal Kombat characters look more like DC characters. That's not what they did. On no character in this entire game was that the design brief. These changes are just for change's sake, and they don't make sense.
What happened to blazing through these? That's what I want to know.
So everything about the suit other than the arms is perfectly normal Flash.
The exposed shins bother me. After a freak laboratory accident, police chemist Barry Allen was given the powers of super speed and took on the crimson costume of the Flash. Able to travel at nearly the speed of light, the Flash can also vibrate through most obstacles and has been known to phase into entirely different realities.
It's interesting that the bio makes sure to point out he can, like, phase through stuff, because he doesn't have any moves that do that in the game.
That's awesome, Razor.
Yeah. So it's fucking Barry.
Green Lantern.
A one true original.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's clearly Hal.
Ew,
my favorite sack of bricks.
The biceps.
I'm pretty sure this face is from Alex Ross art.
This face is low poly as shit.
It could be better.
It looks bad.
You know,
this looks unfinished.
What they had to work with at the time. So, panel lines.
I don't like the segmentation on the fucking chest.
Yeah. These, again, they put the panel lines in places that don't really make sense. They don't follow musculature. They don't follow the shape of the outfit really. Like this one at the waist that makes his waist look like it has a corset on, kind of, but not in a good way.
Oh, I don't like the fucking Bryan Singer piping, like...
Oh yeah, the Bryan Singer bits...
yeah, but like on the legs, the way it curves down.
There's no need for this. There's no reason for any of these panel lines. Why do his boots have...
His knee pads are so skinny.
It looks like G.I. Joe knees.
Yeah.
His boots look like... I don't know what crayon... I don't know.
These boots would almost make sense on Kyle Rayner, but not on Hal. None of the shapes make sense. Anyway.
Oh, what? Okay. Fighter pilot Hal Jordan was testing an experimental aircraft when he found himself transported into the desert to the side of a dying alien who gifted him with a glowing ring, which is charged regularly by Green Lantern. Hence the name.
Yeah.
By taking the ring, Jordan found himself drafted into the Green Lantern Corps, an interstellar police force that assigned him to protect Earth. Jordan can use his ring to conjure up anything he can imagine.
You know, I probably would have given this a second pass. This is not written very well.
It's fine. It tells you what you need to know. Basically correct. By the way, do you remember when I was asking last time what you would make if you had a ring and you said buzzsaws?
Yeah.
Do you remember the falling transitions on the stages where like you knock them down to a lower level?
His super move is a buzzsaw.
Yeah, he makes a buzzsaw there. We didn't get to see it while I was playing, but
he
makes a buzzsaw.
My man.
The Joker.
So there's not going to be much to say here because this is just straight out of the comics Joker.
This is a very competent, very classic, very standard Joker.
It truly is the Jonkler.
He is,
I bet he's got some good jokes for us.
It is.
Who's doing that?
The joke. It is the Joker baby.
Remember that time I killed a dude? That was a funny joke.
Damn it. I turned off the Discord call noise, but somebody just tried to call me and it made the fucking noise.
Damn, that sucks. I'm not cutting this out.
All right.
I didn't hear it.
Well, that's because they were calling me, so you wouldn't. Anyway.
This is definitely the Joker.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's got like little Joker logos on his cufflinks there. You can
Oh,
almost
look at
make
that.
it, yeah.
Nice little touch.
So yeah, he lives in a society.
As do we all, my friend.
This logo void is the society.
Hmm.
An insanely homicidal supervillain, the Joker's white skin, green hair, and blood-red lips belie the chaotic nature underlying his cartoonish appearance. The self-styled clown prince of crime has no superpowers beyond a capacity for incredible violence and a skill at creating deadly mayhem and/or boner crimes. His frequently concocts elaborate... Damn it. He frequently concocts elaborate schemes to entrap his arch-nemesis, Batman. He'll show you how many boners a Joker can make. Had to do it. Regret nothing.
I think it was specifically how many boners he can pull.
And he says pull the first time and make the second time, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so it goes both ways.
And he talks about about how he's readying a boner for you, and so on and so forth.
He can make a boner while he's pulling a boner.
And he just keeps saying it, which makes it immortal.
So, the context here...
You thought that we were going to discuss the Joker and not bring up the boner crimes?
Back in, like, the 50s and 60s, pulling a boner was slang for making an oopsie. Like, a big mistake, like an embarrassing pratfall, you know, falling on your face in public was pulling a boner. Obviously, very, very outdated terminology. And hilarious today. But,
just Google the Joker's boner crimes. You're good.
Yeah, we're not just talking about jorking up peanuts, so...
Okay, I think we're done here.
Lex Luthor.
Here's Lex.
No, it's Lex.
In the Lexo suit.
Lextor.
With his thigh-high boots.
Are those still technically boots? I don't know if they're boots anymore.
Well...
I think they're just metal legs.
Yeah, I mean, but the coloration, he has chosen to make them look like thigh-high boots. Which I find interesting. You know, psychologically.
You don't know what he's into.
He's giving me a hint right now.
He's taken a bit of a hint at stealing some of Jax's MK3 technology, as is evidenced by his elbows.
The front of his fucking chest plate has 2 dents in it.
Yeah, these are kind of in an awkward spot. I don't know if they make sense for the shape of a human, like, pectoral muscles.
It doesn't look like they're supposed to be dents. They're supposed to be indentations. Like, this is something crafted into the armor, and I don't quite think it's necessary.
Yeah, I would also suggest that normally the logo in the center of his chest is like a sort of a weird hexagonal shape. You can like put like a L in there, but it's usually got kind of like a vented Y pattern. It sort of looks like arc reactor-y.
Like it looks at least somewhat stylized.
Yeah,
this is just like a plain print L.
Yeah, this is very boring as logos go.
Well, it does look like a corporate logo, a standard, very corporate, very boring logo. In some ways, it's kind of fitting.
I'm just saying, there are established, like, logos and designs for him in the comics that are not just an L in a circle.
Lex Luthor. One of the richest and smartest men in the world, Lex Luthor did nothing wrong.
No, wait, he stole 40 cakes. That's as many as 4 10s.
Motherfucker!
And
I was
that's
gonna do it
terrible.
at the end! I was gonna do it at the end! You piece of shit!
Bitch.
Lex Luthor is motivated by bottomless ambition, an egotistical disregard for morality, and an intense hatred of Superman. Using the resources of his financial empire as head of LexCorp, Luthor has developed a high-tech suit to duplicate replicate Superman's abilities. Luthor is obsessed with removing the man he sees as the main obstacle to his rise to absolute power. And that's terrible.
Sure is.
Sure is. Absolutely. This guy died.
Captain Marvel.
This is just straight out of the comics Captain Marvel.
Yep.
Well,
I have nothing to say about this.
Pre-Flashpoint
Nothing.
Captain Marvel. Like, post-Flashpoint, he's got a hooded cape, and his lightning bolt logo is like a window with, like, energy crackling inside it. It's all a bit much for me. I prefer this, the classic.
I have nothing to say about it, but in that good way.
And again,
I don't need to say anything about it. It's just Captain Marvel.
Again, straight out of Alex Ross art. So
Look at the embroidering that his grandma did on this cape.
yeah, that's there in the comics. That's all how it's supposed to be.
Young Billy Batson was an orphan who wandered into a deep cavern. There he encountered the ancient wizard Shazam, who granted Billy the ability to transform into the hero Captain Marvel. Whenever Billy speaks the name Captain Marvel, a mystical lightning bolt recreates him as a hero with super strength, light, speed, and other powers of mythological heroes. In return, he must always fight evil in its form, as the 7 deadly enemies of man.
Fuck you,
Because he
Shad.
needs to have some sort of rogues gallery. I did nothing wrong either.
I always found it weird that the comics insist on calling the 7 deadly sins the 7 deadly enemies of man, and sometimes they replace a couple of them, like, I don't remember what they replace them with, but it's usually lust is switched for something else, and I think maybe wrath. It's like a weird censorship, like, these are the 7 deadly sins for kids.
That sucks.
But it's weird that they do it here in the bio, because if you go to the stage and you look at the statues of the 7 sins, it's the ones we're familiar with lust and whatnot. They didn't use the kitty sins.
Do they have anything to do with Sabak?
I think maybe? I don't remember. He's a demon and shit.
Famous movie villain from the feature film Black Adam.
Yeah, I know Sabak. He is a Captain Marvel villain, but he's
I don't know why we're
rarely used one.
I don't know why we're talking about Black Adam villains when Black Adam has nothing to do with Captain Marvel.
Okay.
But,
Alright, Dwayne.
You know,
Alright.
I'm sorry.
Just fucking... Hey, did the balance of power shift yet, or what?
Yeah, fucking did.
It shifted away from him and towards James Gunn. That's what it did. That was a good career move.
Fuck him. Fuck him. For any of you viewers at home, something you need to know about me is I fucking hate The Rock with a burning passion.
We don't need to dwell on him. Black Adam's not in this game. So here's Wonder Woman. Basically, classic Wonder Woman. They added a little...
Her tits are fucking huge. Christ.
You could take out an eye or two with those.
She's just arching her back way out.
There's a bit of curvature going on, yes.
Yeah, it's very... She's forcing them forward. They're not that big, actually.
But you know what? It's very much in the vein of Superman's outfit in this game. It just speaks classic, same as Billy Batson.
They did, like, they changed the white on her boots to gold, and they put these stars in there, and then there's some matching design. See, look how the design work matches on the wrists.
Whoa!
For the shins.
Well, that's crazy.
There's a design here, and it's the same design here.
Things matching?
Yeah. Why didn't they do that on the Mortal Kombat characters?
That's stupid.
Anyway.
Daughter of Queen Hippolyta of the Amazons, Princess Diana sprung from the mists of Greek mythology. She left the female-only island of Themyscira to travel to man's world as an emissary of peace. Gifted with super strength and invulnerability, her main tool in crime fighting is her golden lasso of truth. Unbreakable, It forces all captured by it to tell the truth about her sexy, sexy thighs. And the... Nope, sorry.
I mean...
She got me.
They'd probably do that, too.
There's nothing in this bio about the fucking spinny kicks.
Or the invisible jet.
You're right, it doesn't mention her incredible power to spin.
I love you, Wonder Woman. Damn, it's still touching me.
When I was doing the arcade ladders, I saved Wonder Woman for last, because I wanted to go out on a high note.
You should have recorded it. You should have just recorded every spin kick and put a supercut together.
It takes like 10 minutes to do the arcade ladder. This is like... There's not like a choose your destiny with multiple towers, there's only the one, and it's always like 10 or 11 fights long. Took forever.
Oh god, are we finally done after this?
This is the last one. We actually... You know what? I'm gonna call it. We will do the endings next week because we took so long.
Hold you! Can't fucking shut up about your fucking comic nerd shit. I don't even know who half of these people are.
Okay. So this is a surprisingly comic-accurate Deathstroke costume. There's really not much to say here that wouldn't be complaining about the way he dressed in the 80s, you know?
Deathstroke's classic costume is strange because it's got a lot of weird asymmetry to it, but I kind of like it.
I would like to... I mean, I guess if I were to look it up, he probably came first, and then Taskmaster was copying from him. Because honestly, if you put a skull over his head, it's Taskmaster.
I don't think that's true. I think Taskmaster was invented in the 70s, 60s or 70s, I think, right?
I have no idea. I'm really not a Taskmaster fan.
I'm Googling it. I don't care if they can hear me typing.
Now, I know that Deadpool is a parody of Deathstroke, so he definitely...
1980. May 1980.
Okay.
There you go.
For Taskmaster, so I think he
So
still came first.
What's Deathstroke?
Deathstroke, mid-80s, right?
Look it up.
Shut up.
You're currently Googling.
1980, December.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Who created
Just a little
Taskmaster?
bit later.
I assume George Perez. Or no, that's
David
that's
Michelini
Deathstroke.
no. Taskmaster was created by David Michelini and George Perez.
Okay,
George
so
Perez
was involved in the creation of both characters.
Oh, I was kind of right.
Okay,
one
so
guy creates
he was
two separate people with very, very similar
in the same
gimmicks.
year. In the same year.
Tale as old as time.
An interesting choice. If I did have to complain about one thing in this game in particular, I hate how tight-fitting the mask is that you can make out his nose and mouth.
Yeah, I always hate that shit.
This is not how masks work.
That looks uncomfortable
Like
around
it's
the eye.
like it's going up his nostrils. What the fuck?
Well, yeah, you gotta protect him.
Cannot move his lips, even a little.
It's like every time he breathes, he's sucking in mask.
He's so mad. He's scowling.
You'd be too if it was that tight. What kind of bugs me is the fact that, like, there's... just go down. It's like there's chainmail on everything below his heart.
Well,
like he doesn't
obviously,
give a
like,
shit.
it's gotta be under the cloth, right? He's wearing cloth over top of the chainmail there.
I guess?
It is an awkward
It's almost
cut.
hard to tell.
Why is he wearing a tube top, you know? Why is he dressed like a Girls Gone Wild video? Very strange.
It's
anyway.
serviceable, I guess. Wade Wilson was recruited to the Weapon X program after being ejected from the American military.
Wait, that's not right. Wade's Canadian.
I think there's a couple... I think it's like Joker at this point, where there's like 3 different origins, depending on like... and you don't really know. I don't really read Deadpool. Smokeman would know better than I do.
Alright, well.
Fuck you.
What? I'm being honest.
Fuck you.
My feelings. You hurt them. Slade Wilson was given enhanced abilities as part of a military experiment. totally not the Weapon X program,
No.
and has such confidence
Very
in his skill as a mercenary and assassin that his chosen costume highlights the fact that he only has one eye. That's BDE, folks. Adept at both sword and gunplay, his superhuman physical abilities are matched by his tactical genius and his facility for manipulating both allies and enemies alike. Finally, I'm done talking like a douchebag.
I do want to point out that this bio doesn't say what superhuman physical abilities he has. When he was originally created, they said that it unlocked the ability to use 100% of his brain power.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You know, the old wives' tale that we only use 10% of our brains? So the actual truth is that we only use 10% of them at once, because each part of the brain does a different specific task. If you were using every part of your brain at the same time, you would be having an epileptic seizure.
or if each one does a specific task and you use them all at once, you'd be a taskmaster.
Shut the fuck up over there.
You made me witness this game. You get everything you deserve.
Anyway,
I didn't make you do that.
In practical terms, he's basically Captain America, and he has a faster healing, which raises the question of how did he lose the fucking eye? Why didn't it grow back?
'Cause
maybe he lost it before the experiments. I've seen versions of his origin where he didn't, though. It's not consistent.
Does it have to grow back?
If he has a healing factor, yes!
He intentionally put an iron bar in there because that's just how badass he is. Doesn't want it to grow back right.
I mean, like, what if it's just like a really bad healing factor? Like, if you cut his arm off, it just grows a stump really fast.
Well, I mean, some healing factors can't grow bone.
You know,
that used to be Wolverine's.
Exactly, not all healing factors can be Wolverine and Deadpool.
Yeah, back when we were kids, like up until I would say the 2000s, they sped it up. Before that point, Wolverine, his healing factor was not that fast. If he got like injured real good, he'd be lying on a table for a week. If he got a limb chopped off, it wouldn't grow back, because he could grow back flesh, but not bone. That's the reason the Weapon X project coated his bones in metal, is so that he wouldn't have to worry about losing a limb anymore. And that's the reason that the Age of Apocalypse version of Wolverine doesn't have a hand. Like, one of his hands is gone, and he's got a metal cap over it.
The Cyclops blasted the whole thing off.
Yeah, his hand won't grow back, because the bones are gone. But Wolverine as he is now can grow back fucking anything. So why does Age of Apocalypse Wolverine have a missing hand? This is what happens when you retcon things, people. Things stop making sense because they were connected before.
This is what happens when you go, I think he could revive from a nuclear explosion at point blank range. Yes, I'm so smart. Comics.
Anyway.
So basically, like, if you cut his eye out, it could heal back together if you put the eye back in the socket.
Theoretically.
Eyes don't have any bone in them. I'm just saying they're made of just flesh. I feel like you could grow an eye back.
Shut up.
If you had healing powers. Regular person can't grow an eye back. That's stupid. Anyway. There are.
You don't know what I'm capable of.
2 more bios left.
It was supposed to be done! No! Why did you... You didn't do it earlier on purpose. It would have been thematically appropriate.
That's funny.
Motherfucker.
Dude, these fucking Pringles, man.
You always...
I always harp on the Pringles, because this was my introduction to Shao Kahn, and the Pringles... First thing I thought of was that I want some fucking Pringles when I saw this fucking design. I'm sorry.
I will point out that
ever since.
His shoulder pads look delicious. What do you want from me?
The first time you popped, you couldn't stop.
I will point out that his shoulder pads are not actually connected to the bands that hold them on.
That sucks. That sucks.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's a problem.
That's why they're flaring out, man.
But,
Can you zoom in on the helmet a little bit?
Did him wrong. Ew.
Again, the suggestion of almost pterodactyls or dragons on the side there. That's neat. Very subtle.
It's a new detail, because otherwise everything going on with this costume is just the one from Deception.
Indeed.
But yeah, they did add these weird black markings on the helmet. That's the main new thing.
You wish it was more silver and less gold, though, about the mask.
Yeah. I mean, that's weird. Like, I think it's supposed to be bone for the skull part.
I'm not sure.
But it
Maybe.
does just kind of look gold. Like, it looks the same color as the crest. And
It's always bugged me a little bit.
And the neck plate. But yeah, like, this... Like, in general, I think the 3D era Shao Kahn is inferior to the MK2 one, because the MK2 one has a much more interesting buckle in the middle of his X straps. And because I prefer the skull helmet to be metallic, as opposed to like an actual bone skull that he's wearing on his head. Like, I like it better if it was like forged. Because when it's bone, you get all kinds of people on the internet asking, whose skull is it? Is it Onaga's skull? Is it Jared's skull? And the answer is no, it's neither. It's just a helmet. There's no story.
Move. Okay, go back to a close-up on his face.
What?
Move a little bit to whatever side. Slowly. Stop. What the fuck is up with that ring there?
Oh, that's it's a samurai thing.
Oh.
Yeah, samurai helmet. I think it's probably where
samurai helmets had little fucking rings like that.
I think it's probably where a chin strap would tie around.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, or if you had like a lower half of the mask, because you know samurai often have like the part that covers their mouth and looks like a demon.
I'm thinking chin strap. You could have some of those sweet Conquest Shao Kahn attachments down there.
Well,
or something.
A project for people interested in samurai armor would be to Google that. Find out what the rings do.
the upper lip has like a little like mustache.
It's
Does it? Or is that just shadow? I think that's
shadow.
I appreciate that they
If you'd stop moving, I could fucking take a look.
Well,
it looks more like some kind of carving.
What I would say is that he has a very weathered and ridged skin on his face.
What? No, I said the helmet.
You're talking about a mustache.
Yeah, I said it looks. I said it looks like a little mustache. See?
Oh, the ridges in the skull.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see that at all.
I suppose kind of,
yeah,
a little bit.
It looks weird.
Yeah, I'm looking at his skin, because he's got, like, I'm noticing his eyebrows are very, like, it looks like if you took the skull off, he would look like he does in MK2, you know, the John Tobias design with the claws growing out of his eyebrows, and I appreciate that.
No.
I do wish, like, his eyes are kind of a very, like, pinkish red. I wish they were, like...
more crimson?
Yeah, more dark and glowing. They're picking up too much light. They're too shiny.
I do appreciate how, like, the lowest set of teeth successfully overlaps his upper lip.
Yeah.
Gives the proper effect.
Yeah, from a distance it looks good.
Looks weirdly slender, but that's probably because of the Pringles chips throwing the whole effect off.
I don't know. I think, like, he's got a very thick torso.
Yeah.
This is one of the meatier cons, actually, I would say. Like, it's a pretty good, physique. Because, Shao Kahn, ever since the games switched to 3D, has had a problem of not looking as tall as he used to, because he hunches over in his fighting poses. Like, he's very, like, standing up straight in MK2, and it helps him look to tower over the opponent. I do really like the way they did, like, again, these colored metallic shines. Like on the red of the armor.
This is a capable costume. Not his best, not his worst.
Yeah. Pretty good. I've never had a problem with 3D Aircon. Like, it's just, like, slight details are not as good as with MK2. But this is definitely, like, second place on a tier list.
Oh, wow.
This one is long, but not long enough for the scroll arrows to matter.
Getting there, though.
Yeah, this might be the longest one.
Emperor Shao Kahn's lust for power is matched only by his ruthlessness. For ages, he conquered other realms and merged them with Outworld. Eventually, he turned his attention to Earthrealm. To stave off invasion, Raiden convinced the Elder Gods to enforce the rules of the Mortal Kombat tournament. Only if Shao Kahn were to win the tournament could he take Earthrealm. But Liu Kang defeated Outworld's champion, Shang Tsung, dashing any chance of Shao Kahn's victory. Enraged, Shao Kahn disregarded the Elder God's warnings and mounted an invasion. Defeated once again by Raiden and his allies, he was seemingly ripped apart by his own portal. But the realms are never truly safe from the evil that is Shao Kahn.
That's how MK3 happened. He was ripped apart by a portal.
There's a lot of abbreviation
It's how the first
going on
cutscene in this game happened.
Yeah, that's the end of MK3.
Okay. But yeah, again, we're skipping straight past MK2. There was the first movie, and then there was Annihilation, right?
Indeed. Pretty much.
And now we come to the last.
Darkseid.
It's Thanos.
Nah, Thanos is cooler than
I'm sorry. That wasn't funny.
No, you can't arrest Darkseid.
Darkseid doesn't own a helicopter.
You can't. You can keep his hours under 40 hours a week to keep him from getting full-time pay, though.
He does
Somebody
work at a burger joint.
McDarkseid.
So, I was again playing all the arcade ladders. I was disappointed to be reminded that his Omega beams don't zigzag in this game.
Boo.
God, right?
Yeah, they're just straight
Piss me
line
off.
heat vision.
Boo.
They did an Injustice. They fixed that. Unfortunately,
They didn't in Injustice 1.
But
No,
Whippin'
they
2
said-
games did it.
he wasn't in it. Wait.
He was a stage transition.
Yeah, he wasn't a playable character.
Yeah, and the Omega beams still were just straight as an arrow in that.
Yeah, well, they zigzag into when you can actually
I
play
know.
as him.
I know. I just want to feel like I'm smart.
So,
We're talking about comics that's self-defeating.
thigh-high boots, bare legs.
Indeed.
He's
It's
likes
Darkseid. It's
Do you have to work out to get stone thighs? Like, where was he just born with this physique, or?
if asking general New Gods questions, I'm not the guy to
Can
answer
you
them.
work out and grow thicker if you're made of stone, or are you just stuck with whatever you are?
I think he needs to see a dermatologist.
The tiny loincloth is amusing.
Yeah, this is not
I
a
don't
thing
like
that he
it.
had. This is not
I
a
don't
thing that he
like
has
it.
in the comics. This doesn't. This
This
doesn't
sucks.
exist in the comics. This
Gi-
is a.
give,
Why is this
give
there?
me give me the fucking miniskirt, damn it!
This is a Mortal Kombat team invention. Also,
What is
It's
this
a-
fucking?
It's terrible. It's funny.
he.
It's suggestive of a penis. In ways that the regular
Like
loincloths have
flares-
never been.
It flares out.
It's not a good look. I will also point out that while in the comics and other media he does typically wear thigh-high boots, in Superman the Animated Series in particular, he at least has some tights on these thighs.
There is something subtly sexy about this, and I don't think I like it.
Like, there's usually, like, the shirt is like a cloth that comes down past the belt and hangs like a loincloth. It's not metal. And it's not this underpants look. Like, they kind of combined traditional Darkseid with an armored Darkseid, and they went halfway on both, and it turned out to be the worst of both worlds.
Oh, just giving him the skirt would have fixed this.
Yeah.
Didn't even... Oh man.
So.
A ruthless despot. Darkseid rules over the perpetually burning planet known as Apocalypse. Obsessed with discovering the anti-life equation, he plans to use it to complete his quest for absolute power and rule over all life in the universe. Nearly invulnerable, his powers include the ability to project omega beams from his eyes, dark rays with the power to alter, transport, and incinerate everything they come into contact with. Too bad this fucker can't deal with stairs.
They forgot to mention that he likes to break into people's houses and sit on their furniture.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the anti-life equation is. It doesn't explain.
Well, the anti-life equation, my friend, is a mathematical formula that, if you say it out loud, proves to anyone listening that life is pointless, that free will is a lie. And if they hear it, they will immediately give up on life and willingly become mind-controlled by Darkseid.
Is that true?
That's what it does. That's what it does.
Sounds an awful lot like the blood code to me.
That's kind of fucking cool.
Actually broke my heart when Dan Turpin was converted into a Darkseid replacement body back in Final Crisis. I love that guy in Superman comics.
You know, the comic never says what happens to Dan after Batman shoots Darkseid out of his body. You assume he got hit by a bullet and he's dead, but I think Grant Morrison has said actually he survived. It's just that nobody has used Dan Turpin since.
He was such a fixture for so long in the 90s, but that was my decade of comics.
Well, it feels like the comics stopped using him at the same time that the animated series killed him off. Because the animated series version of Turpin was directly based on Jack Kirby, and they killed him so they could have a funeral as a tribute to Jack's death and, like, in memoriam.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I assume that the comics stopped using Turpin out of respect for how good that episode of the animated series was. I don't know that for a fact. It may have been that the comics had stopped using Turpin years ago and the animated series was the only one doing it. Morrison does like to pull from, like, older forgotten stuff from way back in the 60s and 70s.
True. Remember that time Darkseid came out of a barn? Good times. Good times.
They made an animated movie of that one.
True.
He's just sitting at home on the Kent farm waiting for Clark to show up. So
just lurking in the barn, waiting, rubbing his hands together and grinning in the darkness of the barn. I can't take this fucking guy seriously.
Yeah,
Never can.
He's gotten a bit silly.
Yes.
Not
now what?
Not Thanos copter silly, but he's getting there. And that's the last character bio. This
sure?
I am
You're
sure.
Fucking sure?
I am. This time look. That was a swerve. I gotcha. This time I swear we're done.
Oh my god, thank you.
So yeah, this took a lot longer than I thought it was gonna, so we will
It always does! Every fucking time! I'm bad at this!
We are very long-winded people. I apologize for that.
This is your fault.
We'll do the endings next week. See you later, nerds.
Have a super day.
Oh, well...